Alright, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you guys have already checked out the reasons why I love my 2022 Honda Insight. Well, this is the video where I cover the stuff that I don't really enjoy or like about the 2022 Honda Insight. So that sounds like something you guys are in the market for, this car in particular. Hope you enjoyed the review, and let's get this video started. Because it is about the storm. I'm here in Florida. So in no particular order, let's go ahead and go down my list. Alright, so number one is going to be the hybrid maintenance cost. So this car is a hybrid, obviously. It's got a battery in there along with an engine. Battery side of everything, Honda actually tells you need to go to a Honda certified mechanic in order to perform that maintenance. So with that being said, if you have an issue with your car, that might be a little bit more costly because, for one, you don't have the credentials to do it. They won't allow that. And two, you can't just take it to a normal shop. So that involves getting Honda involved, and that could cost a pretty penny, I believe. Luckily this car's still brand new, I don't have any issues, but later on down the road that's just something to consider. So I figured I want to go ahead and get that out of the way. So there's a little battery right there, aka don't touch it. Only allow Honda to do it. But yeah, hopefully, like I said, we have no issues. Alright, number two on my list is the paint chips. Hopefully this is just my car. Hopefully it's not something all Honda vehicles have, but I've realized this car's paint is chipping pretty easy. This is just something within the first 2 weeks of ownership. Keep in mind, I do drive on the freeway. It's going to determine where you guys are driving, how your road conditions are, things of that nature, but just something I figured I'd go ahead and bring up. That's just something I realized on this car so far. That is the only thing I've kind of noticed as far as the paint goes, so it could just be my luck. Okay, number three is the CVT transmission. I've never been the biggest fan of it. I'm kind of I wouldn't say tuner, but I'm a car enthusiast where I actually love feeling gears and things of that nature. But with the CVT, if you've driven them before, there's really no gear ratio. It's just a one-speed shot. Kind of sounds a little weird, but yeah, that's how the CVT kind of works. And they do have their hiccups here and there, so kind of keep that in mind that these do have CVT transmissions. Personally, I'm just not the biggest fan of them. Not to knock on them, but that's just something in my opinion. So all this video is going to be like opinion based. Don't take too much of anything with a grain of salt or anything like that. But yeah, go ahead and figure I'd show you guys that one. Oh, while we're talking about gear ratios and all that stuff, let's go inside the car, because this is something that's kind of takes some getting used to. I don't really personally like it, and that is the park, reverse, drive, all those little buttons. So let me go ahead and show you how that works in this car. So everything's a button. Push to start, which is fine, but this is where it's kind of weird. You have the park button, reverse button, neutral, and drive. Like I said, take some getting used to, because when you're going forward and back, you gotta kind of sit here and flop back and forth. But at the end of the day, it's nothing too crazy to worry about. Obviously, it's daylight right now, but the next thing I want to go over is all the automatic functions. Sometimes you can't really cancel them. Like one of them is the automatic high beams. They will automatically come on during nighttime and early mornings whenever it's dark. And they'll turn off. They have like a reflective sensor, so when it sees another car, it'll turn off. But for that couple, like 1 or 2 seconds, you're gonna be blinding somebody. You're gonna be that guy on the road, and I'm not the biggest fan of it. I always like to have control of what's going on. So that is one other thing. But yeah, the adaptive cruise control kind of has the same feature. You can't really ultimately turn it off. You can change the range of everything, but ultimately at the end of the day, you can't turn off that function, and it's going to automatically brake for you. It's just a safety feature. Okay, number 5 is going to be the horsepower. Okay, not the biggest deal when you're dealing with the hybrid, because most people are buying this for miles per gallon, nothing for speed or anything of that nature. But it can be a little tricky to get on freeways if you have a higher speed limit. Again, not a deal breaker, and it is what it is. I think it's like 155 horsepower, something like that. So it's not the weakest, but it's definitely not the strongest. So keep that in mind. You're not going to be drifting in this thing or going some drag strips or anything like that. If you already have that down in your head, that's not a race car, you should be okay. And last but not least, it's probably not going to affect you guys, but it affects me because I love changing out my cars or making them a little bit different from everybody else's, but it's the fact that there's not a lot of aftermarket parts for this. I've looked up and down Amazon, eBay, all over Google. There's really not much stuff that you can do with this car, but I will say I have added a wing. So this is actually a video on my channel already, so I'll go ahead and show you guys what it looks like. Yeah, this was off of Amazon. This was bought off of Amazon, and it's actually for an Accord body style. But let me go ahead and show you guys what it looks like. Like I said, that's built for the Accords, but definitely gives the car a way different look and dimension to it. If you guys are interested in that video, I'll go ahead and lay it down in the description below, and feel free to give it a watch. Oh, one last little note. I guess this can be like number 6, but it's the lack of community for the Insight. So there's a lot of Honda, Civic, Accord groups, even for like my Lancer, there's a lot of help forums out there. This car really lacks that. There's some out there, but there's not a lot of information on there, like wheel specs, common issues, things of that nature. So hopefully this channel can bring to light that there are Insight owners out there. Hopefully it's probably one of you guys watching. But yeah, so keep that in mind. There isn't a big support cast out there. Hopefully we can go ahead and change that. So this isn't a design flaw or anything, this is an aluminum hood, and when you're going on the freeway, I think speeds above like 70 or whatever, if you actually look up here, you'll notice that this actually moves up and down. It shakes, and it's just because how light this hood is. I wouldn't really freak out, it's not going to go anywhere, but this is the first car I've actually noticed it audibly shakes. So if you guys are driving your car, look for that and let me know, does yours do that as well? Because from what I read online, that's a normal thing. I just want to see if you guys have that same issue. So much to kind of talk about this car, especially when the storm's coming, and it's all in the back of my head. But the other thing I want to mention too is this is one of the few cars I've actually seen where you get more fuel economy out of driving in the city than the freeway. So keep that in mind. If you do a lot of freeway driving, your miles per gallon isn't going to be as high as city driving. That's just because of the battery activates a lot more when you are at lower speeds. Right now, after filling up after a couple weeks, I will say I'm averaging about 45 miles per gallon. That's about 80% freeway, about 20% in the city. But there you have it. I'm just gonna wrap up this video before the storm comes. I think we actually accomplished that. So at the end of the day, will I buy this car again? 10 out of 10 times, I'm gonna say yes, because it's the perfect commuter for me. It's stylish, has everything I need. I already have the family car over there, I have the race car. Now I have my nice little commuter. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, or anything you'd like to add, lay a comment down below and I'll try to address them for you. And let me know, what do you guys think? If you are an owner or if you're looking into getting one, what's one flaw that you found on this that I probably haven't covered? And yeah, if you guys haven't checked out the things I love about it, make sure you do that, because I do love this car. Keep that in mind. And yeah, so like always, I just want to say thanks for watching, continuing to support the channel. Never live your life in idle, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Oh, I know I said there is no aftermarket stuff for this, but there are going to be some changes to the car, so keep that in mind if you're an Insight owner.